Welcome to another episode of Married with Video Games. I'm your host, Matthew.
I'm your host, Christina.
And I made Christina play Sunhaven. She did it. She played a little bit of Sunhaven.
We made it not even through the summer. So we did all of spring, and we were like day 25 of summer. And then you worked some crazy hours, and then we had some concerts.
And then a vacation.
And trying to get back into it. Both of us were like, what else do we have?
Let's just do a podcast on
Yeah.
it. Let's start with saying we sound like we're down on this game. It's actually a pretty good game.
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's a pretty good game, especially if you're into the Stardew Valley genre, the farming sim action adventure, maybe not action adventure game. Would that be action adventure?
Probably adventure, just adventure.
Just adventure.
Not really a lot of action. Combat in this
No.
game was not great, but not terrible.
A step up from Stardew Valley?
No, I liked Stardew's combat better.
Really?
Yeah.
This one had more variety, I think.
This had more variety, but it was, again, I only had like a step up from the basic sword. I built that carrot sword. So I didn't get anything super crazy, and I was using a sword instead of the crossbow, but I felt like I had to it was almost like a Dark Souls where I had to swing and then back up and then swing and then back up. I couldn't just button mash like you
knock
can.
them back. There might have been a knockback thing that you needed to get
The carrot sword did knock them back a little bit, so that was nice and kind of took them out of some of the smaller guys out of doing whatever move they were going to do.
I assume there'd be other weapons that do that for you.
Probably. Again, I just had the carrot sword.
So, yeah, Sunhaven is a fantasy farming simulation with an adventure twist. Your character, the new farmer in town, levels up as they explore, fight, fish, and farm their way through the world filled with dragons and every other fantasy trope.
Yeah, you can also pick what race you are as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot.
Yeah, the customization, there's a lot in Stardew Valley, but it's just for, cosmetic. This was cosmetic and
Racial traits that your character can have.
Yes.
A little bit of a D&D almost situation.
Yeah.
You can be an elf, or a fairy, or a dark elf, or an orc, or a
yeah, there was a lot.
naga. There's a ton of different things you could be.
Oh, yeah, the half-snake dude.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to romance him, but I never even got into the romancing
Lots of snake
portion.
babies.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. I don't know what's wrong with it. Sunhaven was released March 10th of 2023 on PC. We played on the Steam Deck. I think it's out on PlayStation and Xbox, but not out on Nintendo yet.
I believe you're correct.
They're waiting for some kind of approval, and Nintendo can be sticklers about stuff. So, yes.
Everyone could probably just hear my eye roll there as you said that.
Yes. So, either way, we have too long of my silly comment for me to read it all out, but it's basically the repetitive nature of this game personified into a thing.
You explaining what it is was longer than what you actually wrote, which
Exactly.
I appreciate about you.
You see what I did there?
Toned it down about 12% there, Squirrely Dan.
Oh, hey, look.
Hey, look, the ground.
Look, my water.
Metacritic. Hi, Clickety-Clack the dog.
He's back.
He is back. TBD for critics. There are no critic reviews for this.
Really?
Correct.
Fair.
It's got a 7.1 from users.
Also fair.
So what I ended up doing was just Googling Sunhaven review, and there was a top Reddit thread where somebody was like, is it worth it to play this if I kind of like Stardew Valley but couldn't super get into it but want to play something like that? So I took the top comment from that Reddit thread, and that is our review.
That's amazing. Let's do it. Let's deep dive. Top comment, Reddit thread.
On a Reddit thread, I didn't even grab their username. I'm so sorry. So this person said, it's okay. Using magic for farming is a neat idea, but sometimes clunky to use. Crops are better for cooking/stats than profit. Fishing is the moneymaker. The world is big, but kind of shallow. Lots of characters, but only romanceables have portraits. lots of customizing for your characters and an okay variety of house decorations. Multiplayer can be kind of choppy, though they have been working on it, and there's only one farm layout that frankly doesn't feel big enough to accommodate the maximum number of players. I believe it's 6 in multiplayer.
Oh.
Sometimes it can still be a bit buggy, hearing sound effects from a map away, phantom enemies attacking you in your house, etc. In general, I feel like the bones for something really good are there, but it just hasn't been fleshed out enough. And the developers seem easily distracted with meaningless additional things when they should really be polishing what they already have. And then the top reply to that made the comment that it feels mindless compared to Stardew, which is a comment that we made to each other after like the third night of playing. We were both just exhausted, and I played for like an hour and a half, and we were like, this was really nice to just play something completely mindless.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun, like probably the first week that we played, and not that it wasn't not fun after that, but then there were so many different ways you could go. The world is gigantic. I only realized there was 2 additional screens on the north side of town, like summer 5.
Yeah, and then there's side roles, different towns to visit, actual different towns to
2
visit.
different actual towns to visit. I made it to the hidden elf world where there's a farm that you're supposed to start there, so that's kind of like the Ginger Island of Stardew.
You never even made it to the mermaid village. I bet you there's a thing there too.
Oh yeah, that happens on like day 2 where that whirlpool shows up in the ocean, and I started following it, and I was like, oh, these bad guys are level 35. I should probably come back later, and I never did.
Never did. Yeah, the loop is similar to Stardew Valley, right? You have a time day. Again, where you have a limited time to do all the things you can do. Farm, fight, explore, fish, and you can take on little quests similar to Stardew Valley. This one felt more ambiguous, but there were still quests to be done. And there's only so much that you can be done in a day, so as the player, choose what you wish to accomplish. As you progress, you level up your skills, craft better items, and build relationships with the town folks. All that, and find new areas where you can do this even more. I will say, because I didn't really write this anywhere, this feels like a good point, you can adjust a lot of things that you couldn't in Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I was trying to write notes about things I wanted to discuss, which I'm sure I'll think of a million things after we record this, as I always do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different gameplay customization, because Stardew gives you a lot of, like, you can toggle on or off the
walk run,
or where your tile placement or hit placement and things like that. Sunhaven, you can change the length of the day, so it's still 6 a.m. to, they only give you midnight in this game.
Yes.
But it can be 20 minutes or 15 minutes. It might go down to 10, but I don't think so. I kept it at 20.
You can have faster or longer time periods within that, so you can do more stuff in the day.
Yeah, Stardew's about 15 minutes for a day.
There are bosses that show up in this game. You can just turn them off completely.
Seasonal bosses. So the first one was a weed dude that spread dandelions all across your...
Mm-hmm. Next one was a rock... Geodude. He was a Geodude.
He was a Geodude, and then I didn't turn those off, but some of my crops caught on fire in the summer.
So there's seasonal effects on crops, and you can turn that on and off.
You can basically change the difficulty of how you want to play, which is kind of nice.
You can make yourself invincible, so you can't die.
Yeah. You
can turn on weather effects on and off. You might be able to do that in Stardew, but you can definitely do that in this game because they were off. Yes.
I thought of something that I didn't write down. There is no energy meter or stamina meter, and that was all sorts of fantastic.
Yeah, you can keep growing crops. Now, there is some caveat to that, some annoyances that come along with that. I felt at least there were, but there's no energy meter, which was awesome. So there was no amount of time where you would run out and you'd have to just stop for the day.
Yeah, you could. I cleaned up my farm for like 2 solid days the first couple days of spring because I could. And there were so many trees, but also your tools are terrible at the beginning. So it took forever.
Yes, and when you upgrade the items, the upgrades at least for the crafting build, didn't feel significant. Let me rephrase that. The axe and the mine pick by the 3rd level felt significantly better. Your watering can was kind of pointless to me.
Correct.
In Stardew, they did it better. You watered more crops.
Yes.
This one, it's still one at a time. You do it slightly faster, but it's still one at a time. Now, we saw that you get a rain spell later because there's no sprinkler system in this game. But you get a rain spell that waters crops. Cool, but...
Took me forever to get enough mana to... I still couldn't even do the teleportation spell before we stopped playing.
Yeah, and so I imagine the higher you get, you'll have thousands of mana and not worry about what you're doing with it.
At least hundreds.
And it'll charge faster and all this stuff. But we weren't there yet. But the thing about Stardew that was appreciative to me was like once you got your watering can up to that gold, then iridium status, once you were up in that range, iridium just watered all the crops. And then you're like, okay, now I can worry about sprinkler systems and I'll just make iridium sprinklers because they'll auto water for me. It was nice to slowly automate the farm process.
As a completely unrelated side note, well, it's related. A TikTok popped up on my feed today about I believe it's like the super deluxe quality retaining soil. If you put that in your greenhouse, it never goes away. It stays watered forever. You don't need a sprinkler system in your greenhouse if you put that in there.
Stardew?
In Stardew. You can't put down any other fertilizer, so you couldn't put down like speed grow or anything, but you wouldn't have to go in and water your plants.
They're just automatically
You wouldn't have to worry about getting iridium sprinklers. And I've played that game for how many years and didn't realize that?
I don't feel like the iridium sprinklers really took up too much, but that's cool to know.
Yes. Yeah. So
we
speaking
learned
of
all
watering
sorts
things,
of stuff
I
in
know.
Stardew that we didn't know. It was just like playing Breath of the Wild, and you're like, oh, the hardy fruit attracts the hardy fish.
Yeah, we found that out way too late.
Just stuff like that. You're like, oh, that makes sense. I would have never thought of it.
Correct.
With Sunhaven, the other thing that drove me a little nuts was you had to keep your animals in or out of the barn.
That was weird. I did not enjoy that.
They don't go in and out. Stardew, they did. They've done it since we were playing in the beginning.
I know. I had my cow outside.
You'd pet him, but
I pet him, even his heart wasn't going up and his energy meter was down. And we were freaking out, and you were like, put him in the barn. Put him in the barn. So, like, I made all those fences and made, like, a nice little area. Didn't have to do that.
Yeah, you would have to put the auto feeder outside if you were going to keep them outside.
Yeah, which, whatever. I'll just keep him in the barn. Who cares?
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, it was nice because you didn't have to buy feed because a feed gave it to you for free. One of your level up things for farming just gave it to you for free.
Yes, from the weird anime cat lady.
So there was... Every time there was something good, there was something silly on the negative side that didn't really kill me, but since I played Stardew Valley, it felt inconvenient. If I had never played Stardew Valley, I wouldn't feel they were that inconvenient. I would have felt this is how it should be done.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Like, finally, when I decided to start going on with the main quest again, where it was like, you need to go find the hidden elf world. I can't even remember what the town was called. Like, I had to go talk to someone, and then they're like, well, now you need to go talk to this lady at the barracks. And then she's like, okay, now take this letter back to the mayor because she has to give you her blessing. And then you go and make it to the elf place, and they're like, well, you can't get in because these tree sentinels can't talk. So then you have to figure out, like, there's always just, like, something in the way. Even when I made it to the city, and then I need to go talk to the world dragon, one of the tree guys is in my way, and then I have to go find someone to wake him up. Like, can you just let me get to the world dragon? Like, there was always like a minor inconvenience in the way of just
which is very video
forward.
gamey, and it would have been normal had we not played a different game where it just felt more streamlined.
Yeah,
in my opinion, but
yeah,
it was. Even in video game
every
standards,
single quest.
Even for video game standards, it was a little too much.
Yes, it was every single main storyline quest. Like, side quests, totally fine. I needed to get 3 cookies for a dude. I went and bought them and gave them to him, and my hearts went up. Side quests, totally fine. There even was a community center board that I didn't fully understand. Or, like, the daily quests board.
Yeah, I think you just had.
You had to select one of two, and it looks like rather than Stardew where it says like what they're looking for, it was telling you what the reward was before you clicked on it, and so I just never clicked on it. I should have just clicked on it to see what are they gonna do? Get mad at me?
Yeah, and there's a library in this game again, and a museum. So you have stuff to collect and drop off. The museum at first I didn't like, but I think I liked it after the fact.
I am very neutral about it. There's 3 different sections of it. I liked the main section we were dealing with that had the different bundles of the crops and the foraging things. The fish one, I could not find rhyme or reason to that. So it had little tanks that were the seasonal fish, and then it had like the legendary fish or whatever in the main area, and then things you find in their version of treasure chests while you're fishing. And then there was a giant fish tank.
And there's fish specifically for the
specifically for that. So anytime I fished, I basically had to go to the museum and just hit Y to see if they would go into the fish tank before I sold them for money.
Yeah, and there's no indicator
correct
that they were needed in the museum. Like
Stardew added that after the
did.
fact, but like that comment said, it sounds like these developers are kind of focusing on more niche things rather than bigger picture things like that. But maybe other people found a rhyme and reason to that, and I didn't.
There's quality of life stuff that could be taken into account, and they just weren't there. But I will say the biggest thing for me that I liked the most was the level up tree.
That's a note I have too.
Leveling up in this game was the shining accomplishment.
I loved the skill trees in this more than I do for Stardew.
So when you first start playing, you're like, oh my gosh, my character's slow. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden you start leveling up and you go, I'm moving a lot faster. Oh, I can cut these trees down faster. Oh, I have armor now.
Oh, I get a hop, skip in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that for less mana.
Yeah.
Oh, I can double jump.
And you almost had too many things that you wanted to level, and it encouraged you to kind of just keep doing what you were doing so you could level up. Mm-hmm. The skill tree was great. There was a wide variety. This blew what Stardew Valley did out of the water. Stardew Valley has a very, very simplistic leveling up tree. And I don't think it needs to be as complicated as this one, but I would love to see more layers here.
I was going to look up just a photo of it because I wanted to talk about the difference. So here's a screenshot.
Mining, exploration, fishing.
Exploration, farming, mining, combat, and fishing.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you get skill points. You get XP for doing particular things, and then you get skill points for... It's literally a basic level up system.
I liked when you completed quests, you get the normal reward, and you get an optional choice.
An optional bonus reward.
You could choose gold, or you could choose experience and things. So if you were lagging behind on something, fishing. There's 200 experience for fishing. You got really good at fishing after a while, though.
I did. I did not like that minigame at first, and then I grew to love it, much like Stardew. I love Stardew's fishing, and I know a lot of people greatly dislike it. I'm just good at fishing.
It took you a while, but you got really good at it. Like, you were getting perfects and things. I'm like, she's never
I found that legendary fish that I have no idea how I did that.
Yeah, you got it on like the second try, didn't you?
And I didn't even... You told me to put it in my inventory because you looked it up for me. And you're like, there's another fish tank that will appear later on in the game, and that's where it belongs. So I just stuck it in a chest, and it'll rot in there for the rest of forever.
Mm-hmm. But the leveling up system was very well done in this. I don't really have much to add. I just thought it was very creative, and I wish Stardew would do something similar to give you more benefit from that. But I don't know how it would work around in that game.
Maybe the Haunted Chocolatier will have something like that.
If he ever comes out with the Haunted Chocolatier.
Yeah, he is the biggest procrastinator in the world. I don't think we're ever going to see that game.
No.
Unfortunately.
No, I don't think so either. And I think you touched on this earlier. The one thing about this game that was the pacing is too quick.
Yes.
Too much stuff happens too fast, and you're not ready. I guess we could have not progressed main story and slowed it down a little bit.
Well, and there's 2 different cities that you're supposed to make it to for the main story. There's Withergate, which I never even attempted to find that, and then there's, I just remembered it, the Nelvari, hidden hidden elf village, and I did that and got there and then got super overwhelmed, and then the Shane character of Sunhaven was just being a dick the entire time, and I'm like, this isn't really fun.
No. It just got overwhelming, and there was too much to do, whereas by the time you got to the island in Stardew,
you already kind of had everything relatively automated in Stardew, so that taking a day to go to Ginger Island wasn't too bad. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you just said that. You literally just said everything I was going to say, so
I like Stardew Valley.
Yeah. So, I don't think video game people who are like this type of game would be it won't be too bad, especially if you don't mind slowing down on the main quest and just taking your time. Whereas you were starting to just push through, and then all of a sudden it just was like, oh, I'm just too far. Where I feel like if you had leveled up your combat, done the mines a little bit more, explored other areas, leveled up your, like you said, level up combat, your mining, getting higher tier stuff, and then getting, even if you had the rain spell, so all you had to do was cast the rain spell twice in your garden, and
then go power through the mines, which the mines had their own system.
I actually liked the mine system in this
yeah.
one, where you could progress, but to permanently progress, you had to craft keys. It didn't feel that difficult because the ore was plentiful enough to make it that way.
Yes.
And plus you got a spell that exploded all the rocks anyway.
Oh, that was so nice. So I didn't have to worry about like crafting bombs or making sure I had bombs.
Yeah, I like the addition of magic in this game. I thought it was well done. I really don't, as a whole, the game was good, but we came from Stardew Valley, and we're just kind of hooked on Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that 1.6 update on the Switch.
And then she's going to dive back in full bore into that, and it'll be wonderful.
Oh, gosh.
We're playing Dungeons of Hinterberg. You started that.
I did. I'll play more of that tonight.
And
That's
Squirrel
very
with a Gun comes out this week, so we're going to start playing Squirrel with a Gun. That one we probably might have a review faster than slower because it's a sandbox game.
Sandbox platformer.
Yeah, you solve puzzles and you collect golden acorns as a squirrel that runs around with a gun. And you can either look cute or you can be a menace or both.
Terrorize the neighborhood. I have one other super positive for Sunhaven.
Oh, sorry, I jumped right into this.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I don't have any other notes. My negative notes were did not like the leveling up system for tools or the toggle for the menus / usable items in your backpack. So Stardew, you could toggle between the 3 screens or the 3 of your inventory. This one, you literally had to like toggle in and swap them out.
The trade-off was you had so much more space.
I never had issues in the mines.
But I do agree with you. The trade-off was annoying. I wish they gave you a way to toggle between 2 or 3 rows, and maybe that is something you could have unlocked.
Yeah, I don't know. And then the only other negative, and then I'll go to the excellent positive, was that there were too many craftable items very quickly, and I wasn't entirely sure what to do with them or when to use them. So, like, you needed a farmer's table to craft a scarecrow, but then you needed an anvil to upgrade your tools, but then you needed a furnace to make iron bars, and then you needed a construction table to build planks that you needed for something else in the anvil.
They could have narrowed them down and put categories, I feel. Yep, I agree.
So my main other amazing positive was that you could walk through trellised plants.
Yep. Can't do that in Stardew.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, just right on through, too.
Yep.
No, nothing stopped you.
Yep.
Unlike real life, and unlike Stardew Valley.
Stardew's too realistic.
You can't walk through those plants. All right. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, so it's less of a spoiler for me as a whole, but what do you give this game? And you had another rating for the game. So what's your rating of just the game itself?
Just the game itself, as a devout Stardew person, I give it a 7. Mm-hmm. If I wasn't so wholeheartedly into Stardew, and if I just liked Stardew and liked games similar to Stardew and in this same vein, I would give this an 8.
Yeah, I'm overall a 7.5 on this game, and I think I'm in the same rating if we were to keep it the way that you just did it. I think it's fine. I think there's a lot of quality of life things that they should improve on. And maybe get that stuff done before they start doing honking updates for the game. But I really hope that this game continues to grow and they continue to improve, and it can kind of be a category amongst itself among the Stardew Valley clones that have come out.
There's a lot of Stardew clones.
Since then, they're all after that piece of the pie, and I don't blame them. It's a really good piece of that pie. It's a really cool market, and I'd love to see more games. Sunhaven is a good attempt.
It's a good attempt with its own particular twist, adding in the magic. Like, there's a little bit of that.
The fantasy
in Stardew
is much...
but it's much more fantasy than just magic added into it.
Yeah, the thing I like about Stardew is there's fantasy and elements, but they're always background, and they just kind of peek their head through.
Yes.
Whereas this game, it's just like, we're a fantasy world.
Yes.
This is what's going on.
Which is fine. That's what its shtick is,
and it was good. It was good. I think it's just with Stardew, it's just that homely, someone's telling you a story, magical.
Homey.
Yeah, that's what that's what it is to me, though. Like, it would be like you're reading a book and then they just add a little element in the end to give it that little twist. That's how I see it. And where this one is just like, oh, I'm in Harry Potter. I'm doing Harry Potter stuff right now.
Kind of more Lord of the Rings-ish.
Lord of the Rings, that's fine. Wherever you are.
Yeah, the magic with Harry Potter, though, yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Either way, we're playing some other games. We're having a good time. My schedule's going to be real crazy, most likely, so we're gonna figure this out.
That's fine.
I'll be going to bed early, so I'll be watching you as much as I can.
Sigh.
I'll be making lots of money, though.
Yeah, that's okay. Star Wars Outlaws is getting decent reviews so far.
I hear that, and I see the fans are like...
Yeah, but Star Wars fans and gaming fans are just two sides of the same coin sometimes.
So I would agree and disagree. I'll have to see. I'm going to wait for, like, actual...
It's kind of like Spider-Man 2, where, like, we're kind of interested, but we don't have that big desire, and probably won't play it.
So the number one thing people are complaining about is the stealth element is awful, and the game is built around stealth.
Oh, good. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so, like, if you get caught, you go back to a checkpoint, so you can lose lots of... Rather than, like... a normal game these days where if you get caught, all of a sudden you're in a firefight and this is happening, and then they built in, no, you get caught and you have to go back to a checkpoint and do it till you don't get caught.
Yeah, there's no user reviews left.
I was watching a video of a guy playing it, and he goes, the problem I have is there's games like Jedi Survivor out there and Knights of the Old Republic where you can see Star Wars at its peak, and then you give us this, or you give us a show. He goes, when Star Wars is good, it's
good.
It's good when it's just in the mid or it's the middle. I don't care about it. But when Star Wars is at its peak, it's the best you're gonna get in gaming and in gaming and media.
Okay, so IGN's overall, just on Metacritic, is Star Wars Outlaws is a fun intergalactic heist adventure with great exploration, but it's hindered by simple stealth, repetitive combat, and a few too many bugs at launch. There's always bugs at launch. Remember when you would just go to a store and buy a cartridge and plug the cartridge in?
And that's what you got.
And that's what you got.
Yeah, same with disc with Sony, and
yep.
I do. I do.
I kind of miss those days where, like, you just got the game. There weren't bugs on launch. There wasn't
no day one update,
day zero update. Like,
yeah, the good old days. That being said, if there were bugs, they were always there.
Yes,
they never
went away, and people took advantage of them.
They will always be there, and they were always doing their thing. Yeah. We'll see. It's on there. It might be a bargain bin purchase down...
in like a year and a half. We got to come up with a spooky game.
Oh, I have so many.
Okay, that's
You're
good.
definitely playing Grow Country.
Oh, that's right. We have talked
You're
about that.
definitely doing that.
Okay.
And there's Alan Wake.
Yeah, but I don't know when.
But there's Alan Wake.
I know.
I will be Christmas Day, and it'll be a spooky podcast, okay? Because it's Alan Wake.
Oh, no. Then we'll get a review out for that DLC so quickly, because we will play it on our son's quiet time.
Yeah, Alan Wake will be there. Crow Country will definitely be there, and I have a couple other ones that are in the realm of
Okay.
So
All right.
we'll get spooky stuff, but that's a month or so away. So
I know. I'm just thinking because school is starting. So, I know.
back to that routine.
Hooray.
All right, everybody. We're at Gaming Marriage. We're gamingmarriage@gmail.com. If you have games you want us to play, I mean, we do have games we're playing, but we're also don't.
Just tell us things to play.
We need more ideas.
Please and thank you.
We have light things going on right now, mostly because Star Wars is not overly enticing to me. So
Yes. Again, it's like Spider-Man 2.
yeah, maybe we'll play Spider-Man 2 at some point.
It had a really good deal at the PlayStation, not the Days of Play. I think it was the back to school sale. It was on sale for like $38.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
All right, All right everybody.
Bye.
Bye.